Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to Lucia Quadaluna. So, this is my formally third attempt to record this video. I guess this full moon in Virgo is making me a perfectionist. And I think I should take advantage of the quickening moon, no? And trying to go with this fast paced and to achieve this spell, which I actually think is working already. So this spell actually calls for balance, and I'm actually gonna start with the balance spell. So I have here two moonstones, which I hope you can sort of see there, yep. And my blue glass. It has a little water with a sprint of cranberry juice. I just went with something. I usually go up with the stuff you have on hand, and just to make it a little sweet. So I give the touch now of sweetness to work with this balance and sort of that moon, the feminine energy. So with your hand, you can use your finger or your hand to circle. So we're gonna circle the glass and say the spell. Dear moon, beautiful moon, bless us with your light that protect our nights and dreams. Let us achieve balance as we drink this to the last drop. So it be. Así sea, así es, y así será. And then you can proceed now to leave this through the night, now to the moonlight, or just for a couple hours, or just make sure it touches the moonlight and proceed to drink it to the last drop to achieve that balance. A very simple spell. Of course, you can modify the words to whatever moves you. And also, I guess to try not to be so perfect, and also not so perfect with our times. So if it all goes well, you're gonna be seeing this on March 11. I'm actually recording on the night of March 10, but with all these attempts, I'm sure I'm already into March 11 probably, because I'm recording at night. And you're thinking like, well, the full moon was actually on March 9. And I want to say two reasons why I didn't record on March 9. The first reason, and it's something I want to touch base, is about transitions. And what nature is actually about smooth transitions. When we have the new year, it's like all of a sudden, no? 1 minute is 2019, and then the next minute, or the next instant, or the next millisecond is actually 2020. And that's very sort of masculine, sort of precise. And I think nature goes more with smooth transitions. Even though, with the sunrise and the sunset, it's not like 6 a.m. there is sunrise and 6 p.m. there is sunset. It actually varies, no? It depends on the season, it depends on where in the world you are, but the transition is probably last 1 hour or so, no? When the sun starts, its first rays, and then it fully comes out, and then when it starts to set, and then the last rays, and you can see all those changes being smooth. And same with winter, when the snow starts to slowly melt away, giving birth to the first blooms, and when that white scenery transforms very, very slowly into green and into colors, pops of colors, with all the flowers blooming. It's very slow, it's smooth. So with this, what I want to say is, like, for example, if the moon, in this case was Monday, March 9, and for some reason you are not able to do your ritual on that specific night, you can do it, like couple days before that, couple days after that. The energy is there. The full moon energy is there. If, for example, one day, you're walking through the street, or lucky enough you're walking through the forest, and you turn your head up and you see the full moon being so beautiful, it really doesn't matter if it's the exact full moon or not. If you feel connected in that moment, and go and make a spell, no? Go and make a ritual that honors that connection that you're feeling. I think it's more about that than to have the exact time and date. And of course, no, there are some spells that go for precise moments, and if you need the precise moment of the fullest, no, aspect of the moon, then yeah, for sure, no, use an almanac and search for the exact hour. I'm just saying, also be flexible with that. No, go with the flow, be more receptive, no, be more patient about it, so to speak, no, to go with this energy. And the other aspect, it was, there's a movement, no, I think mainly in Mexico and Latin America, but also worldwide, about women, about defending women. So actually on Sunday, March 8th, which was the International Women's Day that we celebrated in Mexico, I'm not entirely sure if how international that is. So if you're watching from other countries, which I'm sure you are, please let me know, no, if you have an International Women's Day. There's also a lot of controversy about if we should celebrate or not Women's Day, but we'll get into that in another video probably. But anyhow, I know, so there was this movement, this march, this protest that I actually joined, no? We were part of a witches group, which were also joining dancers, Aztec, no, traditional dancers, and they were like so powerful, beautiful, their costumes, their energy, amazing. But we also were like protecting them, so it was very, very beautiful, but very, very tiring. And it was important for me to be part of this movement to say we're not okay with violence against women. But I want to go and say, I think it goes beyond that. I think we're not okay with violence against humans in general. But yeah, there have been a lot of cases about murders against women because of the way they dress or because of the way they act, and sort of blaming them, no, like, oh, they were calling for it, or well, they shouldn't walk alone dressed like that on that part of the town. I was like, stop making excuses and blaming the victim. No, these women were actually murdered, and we're sort of blaming them, which I don't think it's fair or justice at all. So that's mainly the protest, what it was about. But I think it should transcend that. And at some point, this pop of violent outbursts started happening. And at the third one, I was like, with a group of friends, we're like, okay, we're not okay with this. We're not part of these violent acts, and we're gonna, stop here and just go home. And with the first two, we were like, people will run or something, and then we will like, hey, calm, no, and we will say like this is a non-violent protest, no, we will start like claiming like non-violent, because that's what we were going for, non-violent protest and non-violent march. But I don't know, and I don't know if these small groups or bigger groups, I don't know, or these individuals were actually justified to do this. I don't support that. I don't support like breaking windows or damaging buildings, or I don't think that's the answer, because I think that's trying to solve violence with violence, and I don't think that works. So that was one big part of the movement, and I'm very happy I was part of that. They were saying it was 30,000, and they were saying like 50,000. I think some numbers were saying they were like 80,000 women and participating there, no? And there were men as well, and I was happy with that. Again, there was some controversy if men should be allowed or not, but again, we're not gonna go into that. And then, give me a sec. So the second part of this movement, and that's why I was also not recording on March 9, it is because there was what we call a day without women, no, quote unquote, a day without women. And this was on Monday, March 9. And this called for inaction, like don't go to school, don't go to work, don't go grocery shopping, don't go shopping at all, don't go out. No, stay put at your house. And I understand that. I understand that what they're trying to achieve, which is sort of the passive aspect of the protest. But I struggle with that because, it's like sort of telling, like, well, stay home, don't go out. And it's sort of what women have been told for many, many years, no? Like, oh, a good woman always stays home. And I was like, no. Like, what's that about? Um, and again, don't get me wrong, no? Like, if you're a woman who loves to be at home, that's very, very powerful, but not as a restriction, more as of a choice. Like, if you want to stay home, then stay home. But if you want to go out, then go out. So I think the choice part is what I was struggling with. But I am trying to balance, no? Like, okay, maybe on Sunday we have the active part of the protest, and then on Monday was the passive part, no? I was actually working from home. I had to work, and it didn't feel right with me not working. And also, when all these protests, no, and sort of strikes call for inaction, especially with the students, I struggle with that because I feel like when you close schools and when you ask students not to study, the most affected parties are always the students themselves. No, because studying is cultivating yourself, and if you are stopping that, then what's the point? And I understand there's tough to learn from every situation, and there you're gaining experience, and everything is no culturing you. But school is such an important part, and I personally had such a wonderful experience, no, learning stuff through college that I think is so, so important to let students have the right for education and not stopping that. And of course, there might be very, very, very valid causes, no, to cause for protest, but I don't think stopping school is a way to achieve them. Again, that's my personal opinion. So this call for inaction was sort of my struggle as well. And again, I think I touched up based on this, no, that murders, no, against women. But I think it goes beyond that. It goes murders against humans. I don't understand why we are still killing each other. I don't. And I know they're like humans are not the only species in nature that kill each other. Like other species, other animal species, other plant species kill each other. But are we doing it for food? Are we doing it for, I don't know, territory? Are we doing it for, what are we doing it for? I don't understand. And I think there was a story about, how the human evolved, from the Australopithecus to Homo sapiens sapiens. And I think there was the Homo sapiens versus the Neanderthal or something like that. And we actually, I'm saying we, because we're like the ones that are here, actually extinguished, or completely disappeared or completely murdered that other group, and that's why how Homo sapiens sapiens came to be. Again, I'm not an expert on this human evolution, but I think that's a rumor there that we have this. See, I even struggle saying it. That we have this, I don't know, desire to kill in our DNA, which I don't know. I'm very protective of life, from a mosquito, which you probably see me defend a mosquito on more than one occasion. No, to a big white whale, or a big gray whale. I love them. I just think life is magic, life is important, and life is worth defending. And even objects, they also have vibrations. They also, in a sense, they have some, I'm gonna say energy, to them. And I think that's also worth a respect. But life itself, life with plants, with animals, with all these moving parts, but it's like a river, No, a river is technically not alive. But how can you say a river is not alive? Like, see how it moves and how it behaves. It's that to me is alive. Like, even a mundane thing as traffic. Traffic seems to be alive, no, and to be this entity in itself. It's so interesting. Again, no, like maybe a mathematical model, but again. Okay, I'm trying to keep this shorter, and I'm glad that we already did the spell. So if you were here just for the spell, you can just watch that instead of the whole ramble. But again, this struggle, no, for balance, which I hope the spell helps us with, because I think we are protesting again against violence and murders against humans in general. And I understand that there are like certain groups that have been discriminated, no, throughout history, and we can definitely say that women have been discriminated. We can say that black people, no, have been discriminated. We can say that native Indians have been discriminated as well. And it's a struggle, no, it's a struggle because we have a lot of differences. And I want to close this with a phrase and with an example. So I go to a literature club, no, each month, and there was this kid saying that she was not happy with the selection. I think there were like 10 authors, and she was saying there were more male authors than female authors, and that was not cool or something like that. And I was like, I get her point, but I think it goes beyond that, because then I could ask, okay, what about gay authors? What about bisexual authors? What about trans authors? What about non-binary authors? What about asexual authors or queer or no, pansexual, demisexual, and again, all these, or what about authors that don't identify themselves with any of these terms? Again, no. I think it has to go beyond sex. I think it has to go beyond gender, beyond age, beyond nationality, beyond race. It has to go beyond all those individual conditions, because I want to read an author because of that author's point of view. Because they were strong enough, convicted, no, sorry. They had convictions. They have convictions, and maybe they were lucky enough, no, to be published. I want to read about that. I want to read of their point of view, not because I'm like a particular one characteristic in them, not because they were a man or a woman, or because they were Mexican, or because they were Native American, or because they were rich or poor. I want to read about their point of view, because all of those conditions all together make them a human, a unique human being with a unique point of view. So when I'm reading that author, I'm reading his or her, again, no, these pronouns probably don't apply and I wish they didn't. I want to read their particular point of view. Their particular point of view. And I think I want to close this with this saying, which is a saying that I'm very, very proud of, no, as a phrase that resonates in my mind and that I find so beautiful, which is, yes, we're all different, and that makes us equal. So thanks for watching. I hope this was a good ramble. Let me know. And I'll see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye, lovelies.